we do that, does the pot have to be a kosher for Pesach pot?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. And we have me'ikar adin halacha and something that one should try to do. Me'ikar adin, you don't need to do that because we have a concept called nat bar nat, which means that when you have something that's really kosher, and right now chametz is not davar asur, so therefore anything that would happen now is not going to be osir because it's a second taste. The first taste of chametz coming into the pot, second taste that got absorbed in the pot comes into the water. It doesn't have any more anything to grab on, which means it's not asur, that taste anymore. But that is me'ikar adin. So therefore, if you don't have a kosher for Pesach pot and you didn't do it, fine. But lechatchila, we machmir to try to have a kosher for Pesach pot. So if you could, you first mag'il the first pot, the big pot. How do you do that? How do you do that? All your pots are chametz. How are you supposed to be magil such a thing? Take the first biggest pot that you got, that's the one you want to do agalat kalim. Fill it up with water. Put it on the fire. On the fire, it's going to take some time until it starts bubbling. Mm-hmm. Once it starts bubbling, since you put the water all the way to the top, right? You place something that takes a little bit of space, and that will cause the water to spill out. You can take, I don't know what, forks, knives, just something that's going to put inside and cause the water to spill out. And that's the way you'll be machshir that pot. If you do that, you have yourself a kosher pot, and we can do afterwards, you can proceed with all the other pots inside that pot. If you didn't do that, it still will be okay.
I have a question. I heard that that chametz is batel b'shishim before Pesach, so if like a piece of chametz comes into, but meaning can I do my cooking before Pesach in a not necessarily kosher kitchen, or do I have to kosher the whole kitchen before Pesach and then start my cooking, even though the batel b'shishim thing?
Right. So it's a good question. The answer is that you don't have to kosher your whole kitchen in order to cook. But you do have to be very careful. Right. You can't have that calculation that chametz is batel b'shishim, so nishkefelach if something falls. Right.
It did happen that I wasn't able or needed to cook beforehand.
If indeed you had chametz falling into your pot, you have a serious question. You should ask a rabbi. It's not a given that chametz is batel b'shishim before Pesach, although you're right of what you're saying. But there's a concept called choser v'nior, which means the chametz wakes up on Pesach. When do we say the chametz wakes up and when not? I have a whole shiur on this when I speak about the rice, enriched rice, right? That I'm very much pro buying enriched rice. You don't have to go and buy yourself a special production rice. And I explain why enriched rice, regular rice, the cocoa rice that everybody loves to eat over here, why would that be completely okay? So over there, I explain also why there's no problem whatsoever of having the chametz wake up on Pesach. But when you have such a question like yours, if a chametz did fall down, you have a question, and you have to ask a question. But if on a regular scenario that you don't know the chametz fell in, and you clean that around where you preparing for Pesach, you don't have to have the entire kitchen ready for Pesach. Just that section that just that place clean. You don't even have to kosher it for Pesach. Just that section clean, that no chametz should be around it. One more very important thing to add, very important, maybe the most important thing, is that whenever we're speaking about preparation for Pesach, cleaning for Pesach, koshering for Pesach, the most important thing is not to have kids around. I can't tell you how important it is. Do it when the kids are in school. Do it when the kids are sleeping. Do it where your husband can take the kids out. Don't do it when kids are around. You can never even imagine what a kid can do. When you do biur chametz on Erev Pesach, be very careful. Kids should be away from the fire. Just be very careful. There's every year the stories, and we don't want to have stories.